You know, I never really planned on reviewing Onyx Prime. I just collected them as part of the 13, but once I really started to focus on them, I liked them a little more, so I took them for a walk. Sometimes figures grow on you over time, which is what happened for me with Onyx Prime. I originally didn't really care for the just various shades of muted brown and tan, but that changed. His character being so connected to nature, I decided to bring him outside and take him for a little walk and pose him in various scenarios, and what I found was my man blends in really well. And that's not a knock against him. It did make it tougher to photograph and video him, but it's just these colors make sense when you have them out in nature. And really the true magic happens when you start to zoom in on this guy. There's just no panel on this figure that remains untouched. There's sculpting and detail everywhere, incredible subtle little paint apps, and just look at the fur on the legs, down by the hooves, and even up around the hips. You have this fur poking out. It's incredible. And look at the texture on the wings. Everything about this figure just has that extra touch of care, extra touch of design, extra detail that just makes him truly incredible. And again, he is meant to be outside, and he looks so cool out in nature with these fall colors. It was so much fun photographing and posing this guy. Just like on the legs, I absolutely love the way the fur lays across the wings like this. The attention to detail and the quality of this figure is so good. I also love the way the middle legs fold up and over the chest to form his chest, and you can hardly tell those are even legs. Which is great because you also have the option to leave them there in beast mode, so he has 2 pairs of legs instead of 3, which I actually prefer, and you'll see that later. I will say this Voyager class Lord of the Beast is a bit of a shelf hog with those giant wings, and I had a lot of trouble getting him on and off the shelf. Much like Transmetal 2 Megatron, another great Voyager figure. He's just a little tricky getting in and off a shelf without knocking something else over, so you got to be careful. Also, kind of like Megatron, I am a little wary of doing reviews on these Beast Wars figures. I don't know much about a lot of these Beastie Boys, you know. I don't really know the lore. In fact, the only Beastie Boys I know that much about were a hip-hop band that came from Brooklyn in the late 80s. You know what I'm fuck you. Of course, all of the 13 Primes come with their artifacts, and as the story goes, Primus actually gave Onyx Prime his artifact, which is that triptych mask, which is actually a really cool accessory. That, of course, was handed down to him by Primus the creator, and apparently you can read all about this story if you want in the Covenant of Primus, which you can buy for just a mere $400 on eBay, but I ain't gonna spend that kind of money. I mean, besides, we have TF Wiki, so I'm going to read directly from that now to describe his amazing accessory, which is the triptych mask. The top mask, known as Farsight, will give Onyx Prime visions of other places and times. The middle mask, which is called Predator, is really cool. It gives him immediate insight into any creature so that he can hunt it faultlessly, which is pretty incredible, pretty OP, and that's probably my favorite one. The bottom mask is called Morn Song, and it allows Onyx to look at the journey of a spark across hidden regions of death, and I think that seems to mean when a Prime dies, he can use it, and has used it in the IDW comics, I believe, to search for where that Prime's spark has gone. And we will come back to his accessories again, but for now, let's go ahead and transform Onyx Prime from his regular mode to his first alt mode, which is that of Centaur. And we can start that process by closing his beak up tight, getting his head out of the way, lifting the second set of legs back, moving them out of the way a bit, and then you're just going to want to bring the front legs forward so that you can take the middle legs and bring them down like this. Push the wings back, pivot his body down, and then move the legs around to kind of get them in place. Then you can push the back legs up and kind of shape them. And a whole lot of this transformation is honestly just reshaping him. And once you're done, you have this really cool Centaur mode. And this is an alt mode you can have a lot of fun with. Thanks to being pretty well balanced, especially with those wings and having good heels on his legs, you can pose him in a lot of fun different ways, which is clearly what I was doing here. Doesn't he look just absolutely majestic, rearing up on his hind legs with his crossbow to the sky? I had so much fun doing this, I didn't even mind the side-eye I was getting from the fisherman walking behind me as I was getting these shots. Like I say, I really do love the Centaur mode. You can have a lot of fun with it. Again, all those details pop, especially once you get in close, but Regardless, this is just a very cool secondary mode for this figure. And again, I want to stress that you do have a lot of freedom with this figure in these 3 different modes. You might look at the way I have the legs set up and not like it. That's not mistransformed. Thank you very much, commenters. That's just how I like it. But you can mess around with the arms and the legs and just get whatever pose you want to get out of this guy. And now we're going to transform him into his full beast mode. And you're going to notice I do it one way and then I have him posing another way because you do have options with this guy. Again, which is great. So this time we're going to push his head all the way back so you can bring the beast head forward. But then we're going to bring the arms together. Again, you're just moving the arms out of the way so you can shift the legs around. Now here's my variation on this. I actually, for beast mode, am going to twist his middle legs. I keep saying arms and legs, whatever. I'm going to twist his legs up and I'm actually going to bring them back down over the chest because in beast mode, sometimes I just want him to have 4 legs and not 6. But you're going to see him in both variations really soon. But for this transformation, we bring the legs back, they hide nicely under the chest, and they give him kind of a thicker chest. And then you just stretch everything out, flatten out the hands, and again, shape him however you want. And I just love this beast mode. And then his accessory, the crossbow, you can fold that in half, tuck that into the back, and you've got his tail, and you've got him ready to go, and he looks awesome. Now, when I was outside with him, I had all 3 pairs of legs down. This is the promotional way. This is how he's supposed to look. And I get it. It does look really cool. You can see he's got 3 pairs of legs, or he could have 2 pairs of legs and he could have the front arms up ready to attack. But however you want to pose him, he just looks incredible. And I'm curious, what do you think? Do you like having him with the 3 pairs of legs, or do you like having the 2 pair of legs? I really like having him coming up out of the water here, ready to hunt his prey. Or maybe he's hiding up in the tree just out of sight and ready to strike. Although to be fair, he looks pretty tiny and adorable when he's in this big giant tree because he is in fact a toy. But he is a majestic toy and he looks absolutely incredible on this rock in front of the lake. Totally clip farming like the little beastie boy he is. And isn't he beautiful? His triptych mask, of course, attaches to the staff and is used to complete the crossbow setup. But getting him into this pose is pretty difficult. The way he connects to the hands, you really have to kind of stretch him out a bit to make it work, like you'll see in the photographs. It is possible to do, but it is pretty tricky. One final note is that he does have these mystery ports on either side of his shoulders that I'm not really sure what they're for. They will actually work as weapon storage, but of course that looks pretty ridiculous. So maybe it's part of the transformation, but I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's my quick review of Onyx Prime. Please let me know in the comments if you plan to collect all 13 primes, or if you're not, but you plan to pick up Onyx Prime anyway. Thanks for watching.